You tired? Are you tired? You should be tired. Why should you be tired? We had 19 contracts turned in yesterday. Woo! That puts a smile on my face, double digits, right? Yay. Cool. Morning, Mike. Morning, Indian Rocks Beach. Hello, Joe, Sean, Megan, Tracy. What a nice picture background. 7 Mile Bridge. Kathleen, good morning. Let's let Megan get on and tell us the good news she's got coming up for us, because we're about to end August. And the second, that was Obsidy.
Good morning. So we have our class coming up. We're going to go over, we've done this class before. We did it last time in the beginning of this year. So I want to redo it. We're going to go over what goes into the contract from A to Z, what we have to do, what we need to open your order, and everything that goes on in the background. So it is a very, very informative class. I will be the host on it. If you have any questions, please bring them. I'm very excited, but we also are going to be doing a competition in September. So as of September 3rd, when we get back from the holiday, every agent who sends us a contract, who also gives us at the time of the contract, the affiliated business arrangement disclosure, will get put into a raffle. If you also provide a fully completed contract deal sheet, you will get an extra submission into the raffle. Every time you give us a contract with that, without us asking for it, you will be submitted into the raffle. And at the end of September, we'll do a drawing.
That's the carrot. Where's the stick? No stick, just the carrot. I like it. Hey, I had a question yesterday from Cheryl Wu from Orlando, and she's got 2 listings coming up, both of which are title challenged, with either somebody just died and somebody didn't just die, but they had something else going on. And I said, you really need to get the title. And I mentioned that we now have operations in Orlando. So you might want to reach out to Cheryl or send me a note and I'll connect you guys. Because we do have reach Orlando through Paramount. We can close to, I think there's 7 offices in Central Florida.
They had 12. It's a Celebration title group. They had originally 12, but they were closing some of them. So I know it was going to be under 10. I just didn't know the exact number, but one of the ones that is staying open is in Celebration. So it is in Orlando. So I'll send Cheryl an email and touch base with her.
And guys, when you have these title challenges and somebody just died, no, you need to get it checked out. Because if we put it on the market and we find out later on that it's got a clear probate, then you get a buyer under contract and they're pissed because they got to wait 6 months to close. So just get the listing signed now. Had an MLS waiver of entry, talk to the attorney. How long do they think it's going to take? We just did this again with another house a week or 2 ago. It's under contract and the buyers are pissed because it's a 3.5 month process out and they can't wait that long. So it's just kind of incumbent upon us to do that right. But
yes, absolutely. And if you send us the listing and we're on the listing, we can open a title only file. Lisa Kirkpatrick is one of the good agents that we have in South Tampa, and she'll send me her listing only files or listing agreements. And if she knows that there's going to be an issue, she'll send it to me and we'll get a title search on it before we have a buyer. So we can fully prepare on what we need. Most of her files do have some type of life event, but we are fully prepared when it comes under contract because we already have that commitment back. We know what we need. It's just about getting an update with that buyer's name on it.
Perfect. Cool. So lock in the relationships, right? More and more important now than ever is having the title relationships and the mortgage relationships, as we're going to talk more about in a little bit. Let's go to the agenda if you don't mind. Okay. Today's enlightened perspective. What you accept will transform. There's a hidden positive in every negative. My question is, what's the positive? What's the hidden positive of what we're going through now? Would you agree with the first statement? There's a hidden positive in every negative. Okay. The negative is what? We got to deal with buyer broker agreements now. We can't find MLS compensation. We got to deal with seller compensation agreements. What a pain in the ass, right? So if we can accept that, we'll transform. There's a secret benefit inside of that. What's the secret benefit? More transparent, making more money, right? Most of you are telling me I'm getting 3% buyer broker agreement signed and I'm getting 3% listing agreement signed. We weren't doing that 3 months ago. We were coming in pretty much 5%, 2.5% all the time. So the hidden benefit to me is we're getting 3% sides. And the shocking part that I've heard is you guys, the seller comp may be 2.5, but your buyer's saying, no problem, I'll pay the other half.
I think that's the power there is, Lauren said this online. She said that we set our commissions now.
Mhm.
You get to dictate it. It's not about if there is a weak listing agent on the other side who wasn't able to stand up for their own value or stand up for the value of other agents and the market and what the value is. It's we get to set our commissions. We get to negotiate directly with the buyer to determine what we're going to make. And then we get to determine how much more we're going to work with that buyer so they pay us the difference, or if we waive that difference because the seller was offering X.
And we get the opportunity to demonstrate more value. We used to just meet the buyer, put them in the car, show them a house. Now we're going through hopefully some extra steps to share the Moxie presentation, the video that's coming out real soon, and everything else, right? So we sell more value, which means we have more value, which will lead to, in the end, what? More referrals, because you're a professional. I love it. Cool. A lot of that I just leave up there because don't want to forget it for another time. We're going to talk about this. Let's go to the quiz. Quiz time. Pop quiz. Remember being in school? More coffee. Okay, let's go. I'm going to pick a manager to read the question and give us the multiple choice answers. And then you guys can either chat in or just say in the room what you think the answer is. So looking at my thing, Tracy, you're there. Why don't you read question 1?
Sorry, didn't have my mic on. You get an internet lead from a stranger who wants to sell their home so they can move closer to their grandchildren. Your best practice is A, set an appointment to make a listing presentation. B, set an appointment to preview their property. C, deliver the Moxie listing presentation. D, screw it with all these new changes. I don't want listings anymore. E, B, and C. So
And
A,
answer
set
it.
an appointment to make a listing presentation. B, set an appointment to preview the property. C, deliver the Moxie. D, screw it. Don't want any more listings. Or E, B, and C.
E. Do we really want
Who's gonna say D? Was that Craig that said D?
No, I didn't say D. I said E, B, and C. We don't want to
Oh.
just make a straight listing presentation, right?
Okay.
Because we're going to get a chance to deliver value. We do want to preview the property so we know if we're dealing with a POS or a gem. We do want to deliver a Moxie presentation because it's going to go through the changes that we have to deal with. And we don't want more listings. That's the stupidest statement in the world. So the answer is E, B, and C. All right. Thank you, Tracy. Kathleen,
You're
why don't you
welcome.
do? Look, we're getting a bunch of smart people in the E's.
Good morning.
There you go.
Hey, you make your Moxie listing presentation and the seller is keenly aware that they do not have to offer buyer broker compensation. What should you do? A, tell them we have a reputation to uphold and we don't take listings that don't offer buyer agent compensation. B, explain the benefits of offering buyer broker compensation, and if they still refuse, take the listing anyway and have them sign the acknowledgement and release form. C, roll over, play dead. Do whatever they ask you to do. Or D, tell them that concessions to the buyer because it's really the same thing.
B.
B, ding, 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 ding.
B, B, B.
Do you think
I
some
knew you
people
would ask me this one.
No, I'm not going to take your listing? No doubt people are. Do you some people say, "Oh, fine, whatever." They roll over without trying to demonstrate a sales technique to say it's really in your best interest to do this. And there's some people say, we'll just put it in concessions. Probably, and they should not be doing that. We'll talk about concession changes in a minute. All right, let's go to Joe Diener, number 3.
Good morning.
Good
The
morning.
seller reads the option in paragraph 10 of the listing agreement, and they are adamant that they want the listing broker to be responsible for compensating the buyer broker. What should you do? A, tell them, no, that's not our policy. Our brokerage policy is for the seller to be responsible for paying the buyer broker's compensation. B, tell them that it really doesn't matter as long as we can offer compensation to the buyer brokerage. C, take a listing, but be sure to put the total commission in paragraph 8 and put the amount of the seller is authorizing us to offer the buyer agent in paragraph 10A. D, take the listing, but only put the listing commission in paragraph 8 and put the co-broker commission in paragraph 10B.
Trick question.
Mhm.
C? C. I mean, B is kind of true. It really doesn't matter. We'll take the listing either way. If we had our druthers, we want the seller to pay the buyer broker direct. But if they're going to put a stink up about it, we're already doing it now. It's the way we've always done it before. So we're not going to say no, but make sure you're putting the total commission in if it's broker paying broker compensation. And then the co-broke goes in paragraph 10A. But if it's seller paying, then we got to make sure we check the right boxes. So please pay attention to that. Let's go into buyer questions. Scroll down on the pictures there so I can see. Mike Johnson.
Hey, okay, I just met you. I'm not sure I want to commit my family to an exclusive agreement with you or your brokerage. What should you do? A, sorry, that's our firm's policy. Sign the EBBA or I can't open this door. Or B, under the NAR settlement, a buyer has to sign a representation agreement before they can look at homes. So sign the agreement or I can't open this door. Or C, I understand, but you need to trust me and I need to trust you. There are two other agreements we can enter into. Let me explain them both to you and we can decide which one you feel more comfortable with. Or D, roll over and just get the property pre-touring agreement signed.
See, I heard C resounding in the room. Yes, 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 yes. I love it. It is our firm's policy, but you can't open the door, right? Especially if you're listening. Under the NAR settlement, they don't understand that yet. So the best thing you do is align with them and agree with them. I understand. There are two other agreements. Let me explain those to you. And the easy one is the property pre-touring, right? And that's really no different than what you've been doing your entire career prior to August 6th, taking non-committed buyers out. All right. Sean, how about number 2?
All right, good morning. You've got your BBA signed with a 3% commission due from the buyer. You call the listing agent and they send you a compensation agreement for 2.5% minus $375. What do you do? A, no problem. I'll reduce my fee to 2.5%. Sign this modification to the BBA. B, good news. The seller is willing to pay 83.3% of my fee. So you'll only be responsible for 16.7% of my fee.
That was my
C,
math.
that's good math. Let's counter the offer and see if we can get the seller to pay the extra 5.5% before we move to property 2. D, let's see if your lender can kick in some cash to make up the difference. Or E, all of the above.
You can read. It's all of the above. You can reduce your fee, right? We were only getting 2.5 on the MLS before anyway. So 3 allows you to get 3 if it comes along, but we're not going to be a jerk and it's our buyer, right? So A is true. B, good news, the seller's willing to pay 83%. 2.5% is 83. That's just a way to look at it. Put it in a different perspective. So it's not much money. You could also put a dollar amount, but into the price of the house. C, let's counter their offer and see. That's the answer. My favorite answer. Counter, ask, can't hurt. And then D, see if the lender can kick in some cash. There's 2 types, and we were learning this from Deke, I think, last week. There's broker paid, a buyer paid fees, and there's lender paid fees. The mortgage broker, if they're on the lender's paid fee side, their fees are fixed and they're capped and they can't get any more than that. If on the buyer paid, they've got room to move. They can adjust interest rates up, interest rates down, get more cash back. So the lender is, and you're going to hear from Paul Dolan next week with options on how that can happen. Morning, sir. All right, last one would be who's below Sean?
Nobody.
Nobody? Who's above Cat? Nobody. Are we short of managers?
There's a few people not.
Well, Chris, you're in the room.
I just met a couple in the grocery store. They saw my C21 shirt and started asking me questions about the area and told me about a house they found on Happy Acres Drive. They asked if I can show it to them. What are my next steps? A, add them to Moxie Engage and set them on a buyer campaign. B, discuss the new rules and send them a Moxie buyer presentation. C, meet them and discuss their buyer broker agreement alternatives. D, show them the house and build rapport, hoping that you can get them financially qualified and entice them to sign a BBA that commits them to you. E, all of the above.
It's kind of unclear with D, but I would say the answer is E, all of the above. Right? We want to show them the house, but they got to sign something. I should have been a little more clear in question D, since you at least got the agreement. But is that important to go through those steps? Right? Think of how many times I just relate to myself. When I buy something, what do I all of a sudden automatically get? Enrolled in their email follow-up program, right? Whatever I buy, here's boom, it's all coming through. So anytime somebody inquires with you, you want to build that relationship, and it makes me think of them. And then I'm on their list. I bought some shirts the other day, really cool shirts too. And I'm on their list. And now they pop up on my Bay News 9 app website, and they keep showing me all these shirts. And I go, oh, that's really cool. Let me click on it, and I buy another shirt, right? Because it's top of mind, and that's what we're trying to do. So if you're skipping that step, and a lot of you are, let's try to avoid doing that. Okay, back to the agenda. We're just gonna hit the rest on the tops there. Next slide 3. All right, I'm just gonna remind you again. These are things. How competent are you? If you got spare time, start learning how to do these things. Zillow Showcase Plus, I'm gonna show you some new changes in that. The Beach Maker, Jeff is doing that live on Thursday. Cool opportunity. How many people have sold one of those in here? 3, 6, 9, 12. Nobody here? Not yet? Check. I thought you sold one. This close. Okay. And your real satisfied surveys on your website are going to be more important now, because you're going to start using your website more to convince buyers to do business with you. And those surveys are good. We are going to start something new on Thursdays from 1 o'clock to 1:30 or 2 o'clock, depending on participation. We'll have open mic Thursday. All right, we have managers on call on the line. So if you guys have any questions about anything, it's just going to be free open mic time for any question you have. It was originally just for buyer broker type of questions, but whatever else comes up, we'll answer too. Just another venue to stay in touch and be available. And so check your company calendar. And if you don't have the company calendar, add info@c21be.com to your calendar, and you can check it or uncheck it as it goes. Tomorrow, Kate Rossi, the president of Agent Engagement for Anywhere, is going to be in Tampa at 10 o'clock and in Apollo Beach at 2 o'clock. That was an RSVP situation. So please RSVP. I just got my trim notices in the mail yesterday. What does that mean? It tells me my taxes are going up, right? I've got my primary residence, which is what? Capped. I can't go up more than 3% a year. I've got some investment properties that are not capped, and they can go up substantially more. So do we have any out-of-town owners, absentee owners? Joe, do you have any investment properties that, oh shit, it doesn't make sense anymore. My taxes jumped so high. Maybe it's time to sell this property. So what could you do with that information? Reason to make a call. Call your past clients you sold investment properties to. Ask them what their taxes are going to look like, if they're going to raise their rent or they want to sell the property. Call absentee owners and find out if they got their trim notice yet and see what they're going to do. Just an opportunity to make a call. We can jump into my inbox. How am I doing on time? Pretty good. All right, hit them hot sheet just for fun. Thank you. 19 contracts. I like that. Because if we don't see it, right, it sounds like it's slow. We just hear some people saying I didn't make a sale. 19 sales in a day is a lot. Show us the stellar stuff you showed me this morning.
Your stellar basically has its own hot sheet under Market Watch. If you look at in the last 7 days, 10,082 new listings.
10,000 listings in the last 7 days in 26 MLSs, which make us stellar.
And price decreases, 12,000 price decreases. Expired listings, 1,227. Sold listings, 5,600. Pending listings, 7,300. So there's still more properties coming off the market, whether they go under contract, expire, sell. There's more properties going off market than there are coming on market every single 7-day period.
So this is a 7-day market watch. 10,000 properties came on the market and 5,600 sold. So half of the inventory that came on is already gone. That's pretty impressive, right? But those are the ones that are priced correctly. Cool. Training recaps, they're important. So Angela, I don't know what to show you. You guys get the email. Just I put them in there. It's not starred. Real satisfied. I like these. This one's pretty simple. Yana from South Tampa. We're so happy to have you as our agent. Yana's professional. She's attentive to details. She knows local areas and markets very well. Yana's also an amazing person. I would recommend her. Yes, yes, yes. You'll be in a professional, good hands with Yana. Is that something you want your customers to know that don't know you? 100%. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, so as of today is the first day, Stellar made a decision to remove all of the concession fields. That was what they added about, 2 weeks, 30 days ago. They added a concession field to allow you to put in yes,
No.
a dollar amount or percentage, or leave blank. And they've decided to remove that. Speculation is that too many people were using that as a workaround and offering concessions as the compensation and construing it as such. So as of today, they are removing all concession fields. Your option is still there to add concessions, but you can only add it as a flat dollar amount into the public remarks or realtor remarks. So there is no fields for it, no yes, no boxes, no percentages. You can write into the public remarks. Seller is offering $10,000 concession to buyer for buyer's closing costs, down payment assistance, rate buy down, etc.
Mhm.
Still cannot mention compensation, and it cannot be a percentage. They have, we got dinged because somebody mistyped and typed the percent sign in one of our public remarks. We got fined for it. We went and looked at it. It wasn't referencing anything. It was just a typo, and we were able to get it removed. But AI is looking for percent signs anywhere in your listings. If you have a percent sign anywhere, it's going to flag it, and it's going to fine you immediately. So that's why it's only flat dollar amounts that you can put in public remarks or realtor remarks offering a concession.
Yeah. So don't check your email, because if you don't check your email, you won't see the fine and then you don't have it. No, that's not true. Okay, to that point, in practice, if you have listings now that are offering concessions, the only way we know is because you checked yes in the box. That's going away. So your concessions are going to be unknown unless you write into listings and say, please add this language to my public remarks or my realtor remarks. Does that make sense? Because it's gone now. And we're not going to have them go through and tell everybody. So if you got a listing and you were offering concessions, they're no longer being offered.
They removed the seller may consider concessions in this offer verbiage that was in everything. That went away. The boxes went away. Everything went away. So if you were offering concessions and you still want it included in your listing, we need your help. For number one, we need your help policing this. Review all of your listings and make sure that there is nothing that would go against these regulations in your listing now that it's being removed. And if you still want the concessions in, send listings an email and ask them to put the flat dollar amount that is a concession into the public remarks or realtor remarks, whatever you feel is fit for this listing.
Right. And that's for Stellar MLS. So if you're one of our MLSs that's not Stellar, chances are they're going to follow suit. Stellar is the 800-pound MLS in the state. So probably they're going to follow.
Question, when writing an offer, are we supposed to put dollar amount now when asking for closing costs instead of a percent? No, that's part of the offer. That's going to be the same. It's just when you're marketing the property, they don't want any type of concessions construed as, so they're removing all percentages from any marketing that we have, any offerings.
Yep. That's a good
Yes.
question.
That was that seller may
Repeat
consider
the question.
buyer concession. So the question is, do you have to put a dollar amount? Because the verbiage that's in there, seller may consider buyer concessions if made in an offer. That was the verbiage that Stellar put in automatically if you checked yes. So that was automatically put into every listing. All of that should be removed as of today at some point. So that should come out. If you want to offer a concession, I would put in a dollar amount that you're offering so that it is 100% clear this is what they're willing to offer.
Well, it says right here, the statement previously inserted by Stellar into public remarks on listings with concessions is yes, will be removed. You will now be able to disclose the monetary amount of the seller's concession being offered in the public and or realtor remarks, along with any specifics. Please note, you may not indicate the amount of concessions using a percentage, dollar amounts only. All right. So that clause you mentioned, Joe, was inserted automatically. And now that's not going to be there anymore. So that's why I'm telling you, you got to police your own listings right now.
So we had the comment online is I had a listing agent strike through the percentage that I put in for the request and replaced it with a dollar amount and advised that that was per MLS. You can make up whatever you want and you guys can agree to whatever you want. There's a direct correlation between the percent of the purchase price, what it equals as a dollar amount. So if you want the dollar amount, put the dollar amount. There's not right, wrong, or indifferent on the contract, but anything related to MLS, the contract is not in MLS form. It's a legally binding state contract, so they don't correlate the same, but you can do that. You can all agree.
Chris,
to
I'll
it.
give you $9,000 in concessions.
I'd rather have 3% of 300,000.
Okay.
Okay. It's the same.
Here's your
thing.
sign.
Right? It doesn't matter.
All right. Next one. I'm almost getting through this.
You just have to be aware if you put a dollar amount in there instead of a percent and negotiations change, you have to change the dollar amount if you want it directly reflected to the percent.
So you offered $9,000 on $300,000 and the counter comes back at 310. So you're going to offer $9,300 instead of.
So you just have to be aware of that.
Yep. I'm going to say it again. Century 21 is doing neat stuff. And this is today. You had to RSVP and I send it to you because Jody sent it to me to send to y'all. Please, some of you do that and let me know what you think about it. I can't, I've got other commitments today. But Brian Pitt is an awesome trainer. And these are two, a Centurion agent and a Masters Ruby producer talking about what they do. And it doesn't hurt to hear best practices from other people if you have the time. If you're driving your car, turn your Zoom on. I do it all the time. That was today. One more real satisfied. This is from Andrea DiFilippo. I've worked with Andrea for several real estate transactions. I wouldn't use anyone else. She's an amazing woman, friend who will help you get through some of the most stressful times in your life. If you need help selling or buying a house, Andrea is who you should call. She will be there every step of the way. I do this to remind you to do this, right? Because they're all great. And I promise you, I don't weed anything out. The ones I weed out are the ones that don't have comments. Because some people just send in a survey, but don't handwrite something. I can't find a bad one. I don't go looking for them, but I haven't found a bad one in my search. Okay, Zillow Showcase is changing things around again. Well, first of all, we have our own concierge, which is Lindsay, right? There's two things. Your showcase is kind of automatic, but it's built on AI. So it's going to automatically choose 3 photos to put on the carousel, and it's going to automatically choose 3 room groupings. You have the ability to go inside and add more, rearrange, add different pictures to the carousel, which gets you more exposure. And you have the opportunity to do different room groups, but you have to go in there and manually do it. And it's app.showingtime.com, I think is the website. So if you need help with that, Lindsay is our girl to go to, and she's dedicated to our company. So you got that on your side. Scroll down. They're adding a lot more here. So you got to go back in and set up your bio and your profile, because they're going to let you put in your Zillow stats, link to your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever else you got in there, and bigger prominence on you, and contact your agent directly. So they're trying to get more exposure to the Showcase Plus agents. So know that's there. And what is this one?
How to win listings. Oh, this is just RSVP for Kate Rossi.
Okay, that was the RSVP. So if you didn't RSVP, it's tomorrow. So now would be a good time to do that. And I think that's all I got on this page. Yep. Birthdays. Oh, 9:30. Adam Benigni.
Benini.
Benini? I get it wrong every time, but Adam's a great guy. Happy birthday yesterday.
I got yelled at when I said it that way. Sorry, I'll never do it again, Adam.
Well, I'll redeem myself. Adam, I've had a piece of property, the company's had a piece of property for 15 years on the river, and it's a complicated mess. And Adam's a contractor, his family's a contractor, and he was able to educate me as a seller about a floodway versus a flood zone. And he did a shit ton of work. He cleared the property, I paid for it, but he had the property cleared for me, which made it very much more attractive. He had surveys done that dedicated what the floodway restrictions were. We found out my lot was almost unbuildable, but my friend owned the lot next door. So we co-marketed the lots together, and we sold it for $400,000, which turned out to be a really good deal for all of us at the time.
If you're looking for a partner to maybe do some joint marketing on any vacant land, Adam Benini is a great resource to reach out to. You can reach out to him and discuss what can be built there, what the pricing could be. You can market a to-be-built property that they can create some marketing and advertising for with you. Put a residential listing as well as a vacant listing, create some more exposure. You can always reach out to Adam. If you have any questions, send Craig or I an email. We'll get you guys in contact with him to make sure. But he's a great resource. He's very helpful, and he's helped quite a few agents with their buyers looking to buy land and also with our sellers looking to sell vacant land. So use the resources we have.
And his uncle's a pretty cool guy too. It's Joe Aletto, yeah. All right, Philip Hudson from the V3 Roman Group. Happy birthday today. Tomorrow is Tanya Jefferson from Apollo Beach and Amanda Ponte from Indian Rocks Beach. Ashley from Relocation. Ashley's not online this morning. She's on Friday, the 30th. Then Susan Gilbert from Madeira Beach, along with Paul Merce from Apollo Beach on the 31st. So there's our birth weeks for this week. And of course, I like to always end with a target of Masters Ruby, which is 140,000. Take advantage of that because I don't know what they're going to do next year, but it's cool. Okay.
Yes, the Beachmaker is this Thursday at 6 on this training link. So if you have anybody you want to invite to that, there's only 3 more weeks till that goes live. So get as many people as you can on there, get some exposure.
And Jeff is still selling. He's selling like 2 or 3 a week. So it's not a stagnant project. It's moving. We just got to keep selling more. Cool. Well, that's all I got. Let's sign off to individual office meetings.